Hey guys, Drifter here. Welcome to Black Ops 2 In Depth. In today's episode, we're going to be comparing and contrasting the frag grenade and the Semtex grenade, or the frag and the sticky, the regular and the somewhat less than regular grenade. What you're going to learn is, I would say, shocking. I was not expecting the difference to be this big, and I'm definitely going to be changing up my classes based on what I learned. The gameplay that you see in the background is me playing hardpoint with mostly full lobby of subscribers, and I'm going for grenades. I'm trying to get the best grenade kills that I possibly can. The gameplay is somewhat lackluster because instead of just shooting people or taking the point, I'm just trying to roll these frags in there, stick something interesting, and go for the kills. Anyway, that's not the point of this. The point of this is the raw numbers and stats, so let's skip into that. The frag grenade will deal 200 damage in the very center of its blast radius, but it'll drop off to 75 damage at the very edge of the radius. What this means is that it has a huge lethal radius all the way up to close to the edge. Matter of fact, if you're playing hardcore, that 75 damage is more than enough to kill your 30 health, so you will never get hit markers with the frag grenade in hardcore, unless of course the enemy is wearing something like flak jacket or ballistic vest, or this game's a little bit weird, so weird things do happen. I'd like to say mathematically you should never get hit markers. The range on this is 256 inches. That's not very interesting. That's only a couple meters, and it's not interesting because compared to the Semtex it's exactly the same. However, the damage is considerably less. The Semtex at its very maximum damage will only deal 185 and drop off to 50 damage near the edge. This damage and both the maximum and minimum are lower, applied over the same range, so obviously the Semtex is going to have less of an effective lethal radius. In hardcore, however, the theoretical 256 inches of theoretical radius should remain the same, because you've only got 30 health in hardcore, so you shouldn't be getting any hit markers with Semtex. But again, I know that this game is weird and weird things happen. Flak jacket, obviously. But what's more important, a better way to compare these two is on the lethal radius. Assuming a straight linear drop in damage from max to minimum over the exact same range, what you're going to find is that the Semtex has a lethal radius of 162 inches, whereas the frag grenade has a lethal radius of 205 inches. That's about 4 feet or 1.5 meters of extra kill radius on the frag grenade. Or to put it in perspective, the fragmentation grenade has approximately 25% more kill range than the Semtex. That means that in theory anyway, you should be getting more kills with the frag than the Semtex. It definitely blows up bigger, kills more, it'll clean out objectives better. However, that's in range, that's just straight radius. What might be more interesting to look at in grenades is area, because it blows up in a circular fashion, and you punch these numbers into an area of a circle formula, which pi r squared, and you'll find that the fragmentation grenade has 60% more total kill area. That's more than half again the total kill area of the Semtex, which is really huge. The frag has 60% more total kill area, and this doesn't seem right. It's like, so it's only 25% more range and 60% more kill area. It seems a little bit crazy, but the powers of circles are crazy, so I made this lovely little graph for you. The first thing that you see here is the kill area of the Semtex in green. If you imagine that circle being the lethal area where anything inside of it will die. Now let me roll out the lethal area for the fragmentation grenade in red, and you can see that it's considerably larger. The radius isn't that much larger, but the area on the outside of that circle is really big compared to the area on the inside, and the fragmentation grenade is definitely the more powerful of the two grenades. Oh, and this model is to scale, exactly. It's not something I just made in paint. It's 1-to-1 to scale. That's your exact gain with the frag grenade. Comparing the two on damage and range is a very good objective comparison, but there are some intangible, subjective sort of things about these, and the frags, I would say, are more tactical because they roll, they bounce, and they can be timed. You can bounce these around corners and then roll it down a stair. You can roll it off the roof. You can throw it further than a Semtex because it'll hit the ground and then roll, and you can time it. You can just hold it down and count in 1, 2, 3, 4, throw it, and it'll airburst over an objective and blow up a whole bunch of people, or maybe if somebody's camping. Very tactical. However, the downside to these are that they can't be used on the fly. If you throw a fragmentation grenade with the full 5-second timer, or even cook it just a little bit 4-second timer, most of the time people move out of the way because they see the indicator for a long period of time and you don't kill people. You can't just tap the button, throw it. It's not very useful like that. So fragmentation grenades can't be used on the fly. They're not very good like that. You can do a lot of very interesting things with them, bounce them around corners, down drain pipes, whatever, but you can't use them quickly. The Semtex is very simple to use and always ready. You click the button and it's ready to go. It primes. You can hold it forever. You don't have to worry about it blowing up in your hands, because if you hold the frag grenade down for long enough, it will blow up in your hands. And you can chunk it and it'll stick and it'll blow up in exactly the same time no matter what. It is a very simple grenade, and it is always ready to use. Also, Semtex can kill flak jacket users on the fly, but you have to stick them. You have to throw and stick the flak jacket user and you'll kill them. Regular grenades, unfortunately, don't do this. So at the end of the episode, you're asking me which one of the two is better, which one would you recommend on your classes, which one would you use? And in this case, the choice is obvious. Even though I use Semtex on most of my classes, I'm forced to admit that fragmentation grenades are better. I used Semtex forever and ever and ever. I'm a big Semtex fan, but especially in this game, the frag is way stronger. In previous Call of Duty games, the Semtex has usually been something like a little bit weaker than the fragmentation grenade, barely weaker, inches weaker. Not this week. In this game, the frag is definitely stronger than the Semtex as far as kill radius. And even though I don't really like the extra utility of rolling and bouncing, or I take that back, I do like it, but I don't like having to wait and time my grenades. I'm more of a fan of the simple grenades. You toss it, it's good to go, no brain work involved. Even though it's less tactical, it keeps me, I kind of use it as a distraction. I'll throw it down behind me so that people that are chasing me will get blown up. You can't really do that with the frag. However, the kill radius is so crazy on the fragmentation grenade, and especially the kill area over the Semtex in this game. It's been changed so much, the Semtex has been weakened, that I just have to say that the fragmentation grenade is better. Well guys, that's all for this episode of In Depth. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you learned something useful. If you'd like to check out my previous episode, which was on the grind map guide, you can click the box on the left, it'll open in a new window. And if you'd like to check out my next episode, whenever it goes live, it's going to be on a standoff map guide. You can click that box, it'll also open in a new window. And as always, if you enjoyed the content, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.